Okay, yep, we do appear to be live. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today for this week's market recap. Whoops, sorry. First rule of broadcasting, turn off the cell phone. This week's market recap is going to be guest hosted by Oscar Carboni. There's quite a few people here, and so I know he's got a lot of fans, and I know you're really going to enjoy him. If you've never experienced Oscar Carboni before, make sure you stick around because you're going to love it. Hey, in case you don't know, we are Metastock. We are purveyors of marketing software and, charting software and marketing data for traders just like yourself. If you want to learn more about Metastock, first go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel because we do videos like this at least 2 or 3 times a week. And once you subscribe, once you subscribe, then you'll get notified about all our great videos and whatnot. Also, if you want to learn more about Metastock, go to metastock.com. We've got quite a few videos in descriptions there. And if you really want to know more about Metastock, you can give us a chat at metastock.com/saleschat. And whoever answers will be very knowledgeable about Metastock and trading in general and can answer all of your questions. So we will be starting here in about 7 minutes. Make sure when you're coming on that you say hello. Give us a big hello and let us know where you're coming from. Let me see who's here now. I see Kara H is here. Thank you, Kara, for coming on today. And right now, that's about the only people that are not too shy to say hello. So I see Oscar is actually already on YouTube now. And I see he's over on our GoToWebinar channel. It looks like Oscar's enjoying his outside studio today, so that should be interesting. All right, like I said, we got about 7 minutes left. I'll go ahead and go on mute now and just let you listen to some jazzy music until we get started. And thanks again so much for joining us. And make sure you say hello and where you're from as you're logging in. Hey, Oscar. How you guys doing? Well, I think it's because you just started the broadcast. Can you hear me now? Oscar, you look way too comfortable and cozy over there. I don't think I like this. Hey, this is the first time I've ever seen you without your jacket. Oh yeah, no, you look you look great. You look fantastic. I'll bet. Yeah, remember I grew up in Vegas, so I hear you. Well, you got 6 minutes if you want to run inside real quick and set up in there. I hear you. Well, you sound and look awesome. Oh yeah, we've been changing things around a little bit here. We just had to set up a separate control room, quote unquote, and so our studio's next door, and now I'm in a separate room for a couple of reasons, for audio reasons and also for COVID reasons. It separates me from the presenter. Of course, Hunter's at home anyway, so it doesn't matter. Because Hunter lives about 3 minutes from the office, so it's too much work for him to actually come in and broadcast from his studio. You'd rather have us looking at his wardrobe behind him. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I guess you do. Yo. Is that New York? Is that New York? I did this. Is that just soda you're sipping there, Oscar? Or? All right. I mean, I wouldn't. It's Friday afternoon. I wouldn't hold it against you. But let's just. Hunter knows I'm doing Sober September right now, so me and the wifey are taking off a couple months of drinking. I know it's insane. I don't know what we were thinking. It's Sober September, so it's September and October. I'm 26 days into it. I'm 26 days into a 60-day sober thing. I don't like it. Okay, you guys got about 4 minutes. You're looking and sound both good. So, I bet you will. Yeah, you already got a lot of people. You've got, Oscar, how many people? You've got 27 people on already. I get started. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and excuse myself and go back on YouTube and say hello to a few people, and then I'll come back once you got the lead video. Oh, will do. Okay, we have about 3 minutes. I was just talking to Oscar and our host, Hunter, and it looks like everything's going well over on the audiovisual side of things. We got a few more people that have come on. I see Jay Michael from Ann Arbor and Ben from Michigan and a couple more people. It's great to see you guys. I did want to remind you that this is a very, very much interactive experience. We really encourage you to ask questions, especially for Oscar. He really enjoys, at proper times, questions and similar requests. So don't be shy at all about that sort of thing. And Hunter's going to be monitoring your questions here on YouTube. Today we're only broadcasting on YouTube, not YouTube and GoToWebinar. So that's the focus. And when you do ask questions, a lot of them will just be flying across the screen for everyone to see, so don't be surprised about that. All right, so we got about 2 minutes. I'll go ahead and mute myself again and put on that jazzy music, and we'll see you guys in just a bit. Hey fellas, you're live.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hunter Smith with Metastock, and I'd like to welcome you to another market roundup. We do these every single Friday. Today is September 25th. Feels like February 332nd, but we're here. with Oscar Carboni. Before we get too far into the analysis today, this demonstration is designed to instruct you on using Metastock and accompanying software plugins. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using the specific indicators and features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. Metastock shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of our software, any trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company. Yay, the legal part is over. It is Friday afternoon, and we are here with Mr. Oscar Carboni. Oscar, how are you doing in your wonderful looking office?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. It's been definitely an interesting week so far. Pull up a couple of major charts that we have here. Dow was up today 358 points. We're kind of coming back a little bit. We have gold and silver here at the bottom. I'm not going to get into too many charts here because I am not the professional. So how about this, Oscar? I'll just turn the screen over to you and let you take it from here. Now, you're in Vegas right now, is that correct?
I am in Las Vegas, sitting outdoors in my outdoor office and loving every minute of it.
Yeah, and you were saying earlier, you don't have the jacket on today, so it must be hot.
Yeah, it's hot. The jacket's behind me, we got it here, but it's about 100 degrees out right now, and I think I'll just stay like this. Thank you.
Yeah, let's pass on the jacket.
Yeah, if I put that jacket on, this is going to end a lot sooner than we hoped for.
Yeah, exactly. So what'd you think of the market this week?
Well, very difficult trading this week. You had a Monday up, a Tuesday down, a Wednesday up, a Thursday was strange, and a Friday up. So for day traders, very difficult week for you to figure out what you needed to do. Luckily, formations, the way we look at graphs, which tell us what the future is, kept us in check, and Omni thankfully made money all week long when it traded. I think we had a small loss in wheat on Monday and then just blew the markets up with Omni trades all week long in the indices. So, wow, we were blessed, even though it was a very difficult week. I think a very telling week, and I'll show some of that in today's chart segment.
Wonderful. Yeah, it was definitely an up and down week, a little bit more than what we're used to. There, one day to another, there was no really consistent trend. But it seemed like we're on a little bit less steady footing this week.
I have to agree. We had a nice strong update today, but I don't think that takes us out of the woods just yet.
Okay. Well, do you have some charts for us to look at today?
Absolutely. Traders, if you like what you see in today's presentation, join me in my free live trading room. It's simple. Go to livewithoscar.com. When you get there, hit register. You will fill out a couple of pieces of information, no credit cards, no nonsense, and then you will come join me in my live trading room. You'll land on this page. It's Omni Chat. Literally click here and you will bring yourself right into a trading room where you will find me live. And again, it's free, no nonsense. So come join me and let's take a look at some of these charts and see what we've got. So as you've heard, well, two things. Let me just say, Greg Lewis, his name is Greg Lewis, and he is not an alcoholic. I heard a little bit about his sermon a few minutes ago. He's a great guy.
Not very funny.
But he does owe me a bottle of whiskey. I just want to put that out on YouTube land. He does owe me a bottle of whiskey.
He's got the potential to become an alcoholic, but he's not one now.
And he's contributing, so,
I love it.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Hey, I thought I would throw it out there for you. So this is a very risky game. Please know that you can lose a lot of money trading futures, trading options, trading stocks, trading ETFs. People tell you that there's limited risk. I don't find limited risk anywhere in this game. Please know that you can end up owing more money than you have in your trading accounts to your brokers, and trading improperly sometimes ends up in divorce too. So it's not only a financial problem. Please be careful. Serious game out there, okay? This is the brass ring. You're standing at home plate at Yankee Stadium. Please know that you're trading with Wall Street. Put stops in first and know the risks in this game. So now that I've told you about, let's see what's going on. Dow Jones Transportation Average, wonderful daily chart, fantastic abstract channel it's been in. But then we had something happen. A bear flag developed, and the market dropped under the channel. Now, today we had an update. I brought us back to the top of to the bottom of the channel, which is the top of the day's bar. But that doesn't get us out of the woods, kids. That leaves us below the flag and below the channel. So, yes, we had a strong update on Friday, but not yet anyway. We'll go through a series of charts here, but I don't see us out of the woods yet. Let's go look at a few more. Meaning, I don't see this becoming completely bullish yet, but hopefully things will change very rapidly. We are day traders. So this bear flag did what it was supposed to do, and it led to a drop. And the Dow Jones is one of the better looking of the charts, and it is still above the 50-bar moving average, which we're blessed for. But a lot of the other charts do not look that way. So let's go through a series of them and see what we've got. Let's go with number 2 on the list. All right, so we have got the Dow Jones Industrial Average Daily Bar. And it's been in a fantastic channel for quite some time. Many of the indices have. We went up all summer long. Really great channel. But at some point, channels lose their strength. This one did. And as you can see, it was breached right here, the blue channel. But interestingly enough, this red channel is now developing, and we are well below that 50-bar moving average, which I have to tell you, the street seems to pay attention to, the street being Wall Street. So they can see that we fell out of this channel. I'll darken this for you so that you can see for sure. But we were in a fantastic upwards channel, but that has been breached, as you can see there clearly. And if I could make this darker, I will. All right, there we go. So that's clearly been breached, and now we've got a new channel forming, and we didn't add in today's bar yet. We're still looking at the analysis of last night before today. But if you ask me, there's also some weird little pennant flag building right here, which we'll try to darken in for you now. So flags are becoming, if you ask me, the flavor of this month. It was channels for about 2 straight months. Now it looks like flags are starting to take driver's seat on what the action is. So right there, you've got a weird pennant flag building. You are below the 50-bar moving average. Granted, we're still above the 200-bar here, but see how it's starting to bounce up and down inside this channel, the same way it bounced up and down inside the channel when it was bullish. Well, this is a bearish channel. So, you know, it's starting to bend a little bit. The markets are starting to weigh down just a little bit technically. But a nice thing happens here. Being that this is analysis as of Thursday night for Friday, we get to update in a few moments. At about 5 p.m., we can do an update and see what today's bar will look like. And we'll revisit at around 5 p.m. and see those. So you're looking at where it stood on Thursday for Friday's trading. And this does not look very bullish, even though you could get a rally up to the top of the flag or even the top of the channel. You'd still not be out of the woods. You'd still be in the new developing channel. So then, you know, we looked at Dow Jones Transportation Average and Dow Jones Industrial, but we know everybody loves to play NASDAQ and S&P, so let's go there next. S&P, not much different, sorry to say. We're in the same look. Whereas you had a wonderful channel, lasted quite some time. Then the channel finally gets breached right here, breaching of the channel. A bear flag develops. This black thing right here is a bear flag. And the market cracks just like it's supposed to out of the bear flag. Now, the formation, if you will, the bear flag formation gave us a projection of 3177 in the E-mini S&P, 3177 for the December contract. I'll show you where that is on the chart as opposed to how low we got. So right here is the price of 3177, right at the price. We called for 3177 as the flag started to break on this day. Look at how close it came to the projection. There's barely any room between that bar and the projection. So it just about got there, which means that could be the entire projection, which has been met and it's over and up we go. That could happen. However, we do have this channel that we would have to get through first, this new channel that has developed. And you got to get back above the 50 ball moving average before the street starts to see strength. So when we add in today's bar, we know it was a nice fat rally day, and it rallied up all the way to about here. But if you ask me, it only rallied up to about the high of the top of the channel. This is what the bar should look like when we add it in this afternoon once we get our update. Right now, we're looking at end of day data, so we don't have Friday's bar in. But Friday's bar got to about here and then stopped, then came back into the channel. So not quite out of the woods yet. Again, we will add this bar in when it's real. Right now, I just populated what the bar should look like at the end of the day today. So you can see that for now, that great bullishness that we had for months on end, literally, is waning a little bit because this channel is not pointing up, right? This red channel, as you can see, is pointing downward, whereas the blue channel was pointing up. So we are now in a bearish segment with a bear flag to show us we were going bearish and below the 50. So we'll see what develops Monday, Tuesday. But again, we would have to get above the channel and above the 50 ball moving average before the street sees this as very bullish. The NASDAQ's another interesting case.
And as you pull that up, I want to encourage people right now, if you have symbols you want to take a look at, or if you have questions, throw them in the YouTube chat. More than happy to go over those.
Absolutely. In fact, I have a few charts to show. And right after that, I'll be more than happy to take your questions and look at whatever stocks or charts you would like to look at. And we'll go from there because this is our weekend recap. We have to get ready for Monday. So let's do that together. Looking at this NASDAQ, wow. Yes, it can have an up day or two, but this looks worse than the others. Of course, once again, we were in this blue channel, which was fantastic, and it rallied and rallied and rallied. And then finally, we have some downward movement and the channel gets breached. It makes a bear flag, which you can see right here. It is as clear as day. If you can't see it, let me move some lines for you, and then maybe you can see it more clearly. This right here is a bear flag. And it led into a secondary one. If you ask me, there's another one building right now, the blue one, below the 50 ball moving average. So an up day or two in NASDAQ, unless they are massive up days that go way up here, I don't think is going to get us out of trouble. So today's rally so far as I can see in the charts, was a short covering profit-taking rally, and I think there's more coming. So we're in a bearish channel right now. The new channel forms, and until we get above it, I'm a seller of rallies. Of course, I will follow whatever Omni tells me each day. Omni is my navigator, OMNI. It stands for Oscar's Market Navigational Indicator, if you will. But it tells me whether I should buy or sell each day. Looking at these formations, I'm assuming we're going to stay on the downside, even if we have a rally day on Monday. Looks to me like we'll end up running into trouble after we rally a little bit, looking at your NASDAQ chart. And let's move this out a little bit now and see what something like gold is doing, because I get questions about gold all the time. Gold chart. Huge bear pennant flag, which we showed in our last presentation on Metastock, and actually we showed in our last recap while it was building on a Friday afternoon. Well, the pennant flag completely formed and broke down, as you can see on this day. Nice big breakdown day right here. And we'll see if we can get that ellipse to get a little darker for us. So we had a nice big breakdown day, showing us that the pennant flag is absolutely now going to take us to a projection. And it looks to me like we got a baby little flag building right here. I don't know if you see it that way, but I see a little baby flag forming right there. And that's a bearish flag. Do you see it that way? You see it? I do. Yes? So
Yes.
I'm assuming that that's another bear flag, should make the market go even lower. Let's just get rid of this for now. So in our gold, that doesn't look very healthy. And of course, the street likes to watch the 50 ball moving average, and you are below that as well. Then you've got the Widowmaker. This one's always fun. Let's go to open. Silver, the Widowmaker. When you look at silver, what you'll notice is that it had a fantastic support line, which is now red. When it's support, I usually make it green. And once it gets violated, I turn it red. So it was a wonderful support line. But then we had the same thing sort of happen here. A pennant flag built, turned out to be a bearish one. Market dropped, got below the 50, and now is below that support, which turns into resistance. And now that's a difficult spot to have to get above. So silver doesn't look any better than gold at the moment. And the likelihood why both of them are having trouble is this thing starting to happen. Check out the dollar. Now the dollar, gold is priced in dollars, so if dollars go up, gold goes down, generally is what should happen, and vice versa. Last few days, and that big flag in gold sent it down, silver down as well, and look what the dollar is starting to do. We haven't seen upward movement in the dollar in so long, I didn't realize it was a market that could go up anymore. It's been going down for a long time. But it looks to me like there's a possible cup to a cup and handle forming here. And if that's the case, fantastic. That'll take the dollar up, should change all the markets a little bit, because everything that you've seen in the markets for the last few months, basically the dollar went down while everything else did what it did. So if you're used to seeing what the market you're trading was doing and the dollar changes direction, likely too will your market. So we need to pay attention to this dollar. Everything out there is priced in dollars. If dollar changes direction, many markets start to get nervous and don't know what to do for a while. So we need to keep our eye on this dollar because that's a pretty decent rounding bottom that's starting to form. And I haven't said a bullish word about the dollar in a year. So for me to say it looks like there's a possibility of a cup forming, that's a lot for me to say. And a cup would be bullish. And if a handle formed at the end of the cup, it would then make this an actual cup and handle formation, which we can count on and take a projection from. So we need to keep our eye on dollars, just like in the last presentation you seen from the last presentation that I was in front of the camera. I told you about that gold, and we had to watch that. Same sort of thing now. Now we've got to watch this dollar. It will make other markets react violently. So what makes up the stock market, of course, are our FANG charts, and we're not going to look at all of them. We're just going to take a look at a couple of them. Google, for one. Not much different here. Same look as everything I've shown you. And of course, that makes sense because all the markets sort of work together in unison. Whether they're against one another or coupled, they work in unison as one. They make one symphony. And as far as I'm concerned, all of them together create a symphony. And some of them are ringing out when others are down low, and some of them go down low when the others are ringing out high. And you need to be able to follow, which is in reality the smart money. That's what you're following when you're watching markets trade against one another. So you're looking at Google. The only thing I can give Google right now, other than a bearish report, is that it's stopping at the 200 bar moving average. It's had 3 days where it bounced off that average. Barring that, I don't see a single thing on this chart that gets me bullish. Nothing at all. There's a bear flag here. There's an Oscarism known as an F flag, if you will, right here. There's a bearish channel. The only thing holding it up right now is the street watching it bounce off the 50 bar moving average. And why would I think that? Excuse me, bouncing off the 200 bar moving average. And why would I think that? Look here. That last time you got close to it, you had a major move. Most of our FANG stocks and our indices tend to bounce away off the 200 bar. Very interesting spot we're at right there. If we break that 200 bar moving average, the street will punish Google. It's just what they do. So that's Google. I think I've got an Apple chart that probably sizes up nicely here.
Now, quick question for you, Oscar. When we're looking at this, if you're looking at looking for this bounce, what would you say is indicative of an actual bounce off of that 200 period moving average?
What should happen? there's a powerful up day and then another powerful up day in a row, showing you that there's strength behind the bounce, that the street believes in it. Because if you just get a little bounce off the 200 like you've seen the last few days, that's not the street believing in it. You need a big runaway bar. Now, we didn't add in today's bar, don't forget. Today was an up day. So we can pop through these charts very quickly. We have to wait till 5 p.m. Then we'll get the update. So another 9 minutes. Then what we could do is pop through them again very quickly and see what today's bar has shown us. But yes, in order to get away from this, you want a series of very quick bars like here, quick, up, up, and away. That shows strength and belief that the street is going to buy off that average. A couple of days like this actually shows weakness by the average, not strength. So Apple looks sort of the same, but better. And here's why. Remember that trend line I showed you that was violated, and I said that's really terrible? Well, for now, Apple has held its trend line, and it's held one of my Omni averages, this orange one, and it reached the bottom of what we call an F flag. Now, oddly enough, the F flag, it's an Oscarism. I think it's a term I invented. When this F flag breaks, it usually breaks literally towards the upside and has a massive rally. One of the reasons why I dubbed it the F flag is if you're still in on the wrong day, you're going to be F'd by this flag. So we call it the F flag. So it is what it is, kids. We live this every day. So
take it literally.
It will happen at some point, but we trade with stops every single day, right? So we're never subject to that big bar. We'll just take a small loss if we're wrong that day. But for traders who are riding this trend down, eventually that flag's going to go the other way. So what I like about Apple is it did, this should actually say APLE, right? Let's fix that. This chart, being that it held so far, and believe me, the street is all over Apple. They love Apple. And it held the average, and it's holding the bottom of a flag. I have to say that this one I like better than everything else I've looked at so far this afternoon. This isn't in bullish mode, but if you put a gun to my head and said, Oscar, out of the chart you just looked at, which one I have to buy, I can't sell, which one? I would tell you, you might as well put your money in Apple. Now, I'm not giving a buy recommendation. What I'm saying is of all the bad we just seen, that looks the best. And then, of course, we can go out to one more heavy hitter, and we can look at Amazon. Now, Amazon, big chart, big part of the market, doing everything that you'd expect, which is exactly what the S&P has done, and the NASDAQ has done, and the Dow and the transportation average. Because this is such a big piece of it, it has broken it down out of its channel, wonderful channel that it was in, the blue one, has created a new channel, which is bearish. This right here, by the way, is a bear flag. I just didn't define it for you. These two bars down here are the pole, and these four bars make the flag. Then you dropped, and all you did so far was rally to the top of this channel. And of course, today's bar is not in, but if you can't get above this channel, you can't get above the 50, this looks as ugly as everything else. So that's what I've seen for the week. We will try to refresh now, but I think another 6 minutes until we'll see today's bar. Yeah, we need a few more moments. I want to go over every one of these charts again, but very quickly. We'll pop them up, and we'll pull in today's bar, and we'll see if we're closer to being out of the woods now that Friday had a rally day. So how can I help you? Is there something that you would like to look at? Traders on YouTube, friends at Metastock, OmniX, is there some chart that you'd like to look at?
First one we have here, pardon me, UPS.
UPS. So let's clean this up a little bit. Take a look at it. I'm just going to make it more visible for everybody. So we'll make the green bars and red bars, and we'll give it some weight. Now at least we can see what that chart looks like. And boy, oh boy, is there anything wrong with this chart, anyone? Does anyone see anything wrong with this? Because I don't. I haven't even drawn it up yet, and I don't see anything wrong with it. We on caps lock. Let's go. UPS. Daily. All right, so I can already see that this is going to make some tremendous trend lines for us. But let's get this a little bigger so we can all see what we're looking at. All right, so UPS daily bar. Squeeze in as much data as we can get. And that is a fantastic looking chart, especially when you consider that this whole thing right here looks to be a nice long bull flag. This piece right here, I would call this a nice long bull flag. And I would expect it to break out to the upside. And technically it looks fantastic, but think fundamentally. Holidays are coming. People are still home. Where are they going to get their packages from? UPS. And so I would think that you couldn't go wrong with UPS. And looking at this chart, I think it agrees with me. So there I would define the flag. And of course, this whole piece, even though there's some missing bars and a gap open, this whole thing is the pole. So you've got a very, very bullish look to UPS. Technically, we know fundamentally it probably couldn't get better than UPS right now because of COVID and the fact that everything is being purchased online. So I like what I see here. I think you can buy the dips and you could probably get more aggressive buying your dips as the year starts coming to an end and packages start flying for the holiday season.
Now, what is your take on the sideways movement here? Because obviously it does have a little bit of an upwards trend, but it is a lot of a consolidation. Do you feel like it's a spring winding up, or how do you feel about that?
So let's think, as I said, these markets all work together in a larger symphony, right? And it makes one big picture, or music, if you will. This right here happened while the market has gone down. The best they could do to UPS was get it into a flat. The whole market's being trashed during that same period that UPS is doing this. That is strength. That's showing that it wants to maintain, even though the market is having a pullback segment. Right? Because once again, if we look at the dates from like the first or second week of August, you started this flag. And let's go take a look at any of the indice charts. We started dropping the end of August, all through September. So all through September, you've dropped. And if you go back to UPS, you have not. And that UPS chart may actually be missing now. We'll see. Oh, there it is. Right? You see the difference? That doesn't look the same. No bear flags, no jigger-jagging, no downward channels. Looks pretty good on the upside. So while the market's trying to pull back, UPS wants no part of it.
A lot of strength there.
Absolutely. I think so anyway. Next up.
Tesla. Heard
Tesla.
that one.
Oh, boy. Everybody loves that, huh? You know what? Let me just save this just because we called on it. So I'll give it a save. And we'll go to Tesla. Tesla or that's just, once again, I didn't bother. My bad. I should have just created a template that creates the green and red bars, but it doesn't take me long. All right, so we've got bars on the chart to look at. You've got, obviously, first thing you do is take a look at the long-term trend and see if it's an uptrend or a downtrend. And obviously, you don't really need a strong pair of eyes to know that that's been in an uptrend. And we'll just drop a parallel channel above it to define the tops and bottoms. So obviously it's been an uptrend, right? What I've seen here since the split, it seems to me, watching the chart, this has been the most trouble that Tesla has had since all the shorts piled in on it hundreds and hundreds of dollars ago. If you remember, Tesla had a big problem because the street decided they were bigger than Tesla, and some shorts decided they were going to be bigger than Tesla, and they shorted it and shorted it and shorted it, and Tesla went $1,000. So shorting it didn't work out very well. But you can see a lot of trouble happening right here. Now, if we wanted to define this into a couple of things, I would first of all wonder if this is becoming part of maybe a head and shoulders looking thing. It's very awkward looking and you only have a piece of it here, but I'm looking at that wondering, is there a weird head and shoulders building there? So abstract. The other thing is, of course, as opposed to having a channel moving up, you're now getting a channel that's starting to build on the downside. And very abstract channel, of course. We're not doing day trading here. We're just looking at the direction of where this market has been going. So now it's starting to build this little downward channel, very large, and it's whipping around in it. I would have to say, fundamentally, I can't imagine this company not just doing better and better. So the fundamentals are there, and the support line is being tested right now, which is here. And believe it or not, this is major support because this happened right after the split. You started to build this support. So let's go here and pretend that this is the only part of the chart. From this support line forward, we'll call this the new chart. And if we'll make it nice and thick. If we just analyze this new piece here, and we'll get rid of any other trend line that existed, this new piece looks pretty decent, doesn't it? It's kind of what I was trying to bring out to you. At first, it looks a little wishy-washy, but then if you realize since the split or right around the split, it's actually starting to do really well. Look at this. You can now go like this. I would say the top of the parallel channel is here at the top of this bar and not at the top of Tesla. That was a blowout couple of days up there. So I think this is your new channel. And if you ask me, that's not a bad one in Tesla. See it right there? We'll get rid of the bearish looking stuff because it's not quite as bearish as the market has seemed to be. Yes, you've come down a bit, but the fundamentals in Tesla, you still have a lot of short stuff in this market. They're fighting really hard to get themselves out. So on the fundamental side, Tesla is always going to have this crazy range until you finally get some of the massive shorts, which I can't even imagine that they're still in. But once you get those massive shorts out, I think Tesla will start to trade more like this back here, where it'll make more sense. So for now, I like this channel. I would absolutely tell you buy dips inside this channel of Tesla, and let's just label it Tesla. So it doesn't matter where the whole market goes. When it comes to single stocks, I find stocks that I think are going up and down no matter which way the market's going. So if you like Tesla and you're a long-term trader, I don't see anything wrong with this at all. If you break down out of this channel, of course, maybe we have to reassess things, but I like the way this channel is holding since July. This is all the way towards the end of September, and that channel's still working out. So I would say buy the dips in Tesla, my personal opinion from looking at the chart. Fundamentally, I think you're right as well if you're buying dips.
Higher lows, that's important. Very, very important.
Well, that's why I define it with a channel. To make it simple on my eyes, which this is a very visual business, I just sort of define it in channels, and then it lets me know, oh, look at that. It's been constant higher lows. And if you have a channel, guess what? Then it'll show you that it's also constant higher highs. So drawing these channels looks simple, but it keeps you in the proper context of what you see around you. Right? So as you can tell, I didn't go bearish on that when I saw it, because I immediately said, well, this one looks better than the others. It's not making lower lows. So very good that you picked up on that, Hunter. You got me. You said it before I said it to you.
I try.
What else do we have?
Let's see. Boeing, BA.
BA. Huh. Actually looks better than I was expecting. Oh, wait, we don't want to do that. We want to do this. I thought it was going to look worse. I haven't looked at it in 2 weeks.
To be honest, I did too. I'm used to it. I'm used to it looking bad.
Not so bad now. It was a lot worse. All right, so looking at that, of course, you're in a downtrend. You can see that, but not as bad as it was, right? I mean, where it started up here, I'm going to go all the way back. Look what happened to this stock. Now, one of the things characteristically that you'll recognize right away without anyone needing to teach you anything is that it likes to run in these sideways consolidations. Look at that. Look at these sideways consolidations it seems to run in. And of course, you get much tighter on that. And you can say, if I wanted to day trade this, these are my consolidations. You see that, right? I mean, and then you could get even tighter Me personally, day trading, I would have lines in there like this, and I would play in between those lines right there. And every time you create a little sideways flat, I would just trade the sideways flats because that's very characteristic of this chart. Look at that. It stays in these flats. So right off the bat, I would tell you that you can sell strangles. That's my opinion. Let me give you this. Let me write this on here for you. BA sell strangles. And I don't think that's spelled right because I can't see what I just typed. Let me do that again. All right. So here's what I would tell you to do. You options traders, if you know what I'm talking about, selling puts and calls above and below the market and letting them deteriorate. I think you can do that in this market because in the old days, so many of you people remember the 80s and 90s, what we would do is put Bollinger Bands around the chart when they used to work really well before they got a little too well known in the industry, and now they don't work as well. Back in the 80s and 90s, Bollinger Bands, you could wrap them around the chart, and then you would sell options, 2 standard deviations above and below, which is a strangle, and just let them deteriorate, and you would catch winning trades all the time. Now, BA, I'm not saying to use Bollinger Bands, but if you notice, you can basically do strangles around these flats. What are the odds of you getting hit on one of your strangles? I think you'd be fine. So you can sell calls and puts, and personally, because I've been in the options pits for many years, I would also buy the body. So you'd sell what's called the wings, if you will, if you want to butterfly this. You sell calls and puts above and below those lines, and then you can buy calls and puts that are close. And then you can just wait for deterioration. Me, I would just sell the calls and puts and jump out if it goes wrong because I haven't seen that go wrong in quite some time. Now, I am not an advocate ever of telling people to sell short naked options. So always buy something outside above those options if you sell them for protection. And here's why. No matter how often you see an option expire at worthless, and if you sold it, it went to worthless, there could be a day that an alien being comes from Mars and sucks Donald Trump out of his bed at 4 a.m, and you've got to deal with that consequence when the market opens at 9:30. So these things, not that that's going to happen, but you see what I'm saying? Anything can happen. And I've seen options literally take a guy worth $10 million and watch him get carried out on a stretcher the next day. Literally financially broke because he was short options. So it's fine to sell options as long as you're buying something to protect yourself with. Always protect yourself. Now, those outer purchases are very cheap, and the ones that you're going to sell are expensive, so you'll get your money with protection on. So that would be my opinion. If someone asked me how to trade BA, I would tell you might as well play with the strangles on that one.
Okay. Gold is the next one.
Gold. And Mitch had something he wanted to talk about. Well, we'll see what he's got to say in a few moments. Mitch, keep your comment there, sir. And what did you say, gold?
Yes, sir.
We did gold. We have a nice gold chart back here somewhere. It's good gold. So what I've seen in gold, as we looked at a little bit earlier, was that you fell out of this massive pennant flag below the 50-bar moving average. The street started to punish it. Another bear flag is forming. Now, as I mentioned, that dollars and gold, gold is priced in dollars. So if dollars rally, gold will drop. And watching gold drop and coming here and seeing that we actually have, let's see if it's in my window, we've got dollar possibly starting to build some upward momentum. It kind of makes sense for gold to be going down right now. So gold, I say you sell the rallies.
Okay. The next one, this one's come up a couple of times, S&P Mini.
The S&P E-mini, let's go back to that. I believe we have a chart there as well. Yes, we do. So there was also a question from Steve on YouTube. And Steve says, Oscar, I beg to differ on the ES, E-mini, RSI, V-bottom, and turning up nearly complete daily reversal bars, stochastic bottom, then turning up, bullish falling wedge pattern. That could absolutely be the case, Steve. I have no problem with these markets going back up. Now, we haven't added in today's bar. Now that you mentioned it, let's put today's bar in and see where we stand. So This is what I remember. I drew in that fictitious bar for us. That was the chart I drew it on. So that's where we stand. I love the fact that today's bar is putting us maybe outside the channel. I would certainly not get happy until we get above the 50 bar moving average, but I'm with you, Mitch. I would love, Mitch Stoof, I would love to see this market take off. Great for the economies, great for our 401ks. Everybody wants a bull market. But the analysis that we've been in the last 10 days is not as bullish as today's rally up.
Let's see here. Next one would be SSRM. SSR mining is what it is. SSRM.O.
.o.
Yes, sir.
Zero or letter?
Letter.
Is that it? Yes, it is. SSR mining. Wow. Looks like gold to me. Which doesn't make it healthy. Now, let's get some data in here and see what we're looking at. SSR. Well, let's label it. I can't see what I'm writing there. That's probably better.
I would help out on that front, but I have you on my laptop screen, and it's just big.
Yeah, this screen is just a little bit too good.
Just a wee bit small.
All right, so does anyone see what's staring us in the face on this chart? My fans that are in my trading room, what's staring us in the face on this SSR chart? I can see it clearly. Anybody else? All right, I will show it to you. And it's pretty darn, it's there.
Is it a large flag?
Oh, no. It is a large Head and Shoulders. Look at this.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, that one's as obvious as the day is long. We didn't even have to fudge anything to make that look real. Because in the end, it's all abstract. It's really Head and Shoulders, right? So you have to sort of visualize, but
Sure.
That is not a strong look at all for SSR. If you ask me, we are looking at a Head and Shoulders here. Yeah, you got that right, Kent. Kent, I'm glad you got that one. Head and Shoulders. So that's what I think we're staring at. And let's just go take a look at this. So, of course, if you don't know what that is, the circles are basically meaningless. The circles don't have much meaning, but they visually show you what you're looking at. What you really want to look at is a bump up like this one, another bump up higher, and then a lower bump to the right. Those three bumps make the Head and Shoulders. So, of course, it's abstract, as I mentioned, but this would be your left shoulder. And let's make that a little bigger for you. This is your left shoulder. Then, of course, the head's in the center. Easy enough to spot. And then your right shoulder is obviously on the other side. Let's just put that in there nice and big so we can all see it. That would be considered the head. And over here, you've got your right shoulder. So once again, they do not have to be symmetrical. They do not have to be in line. They do not have to have the same amount of bars. They just have to look like a Head and Shoulders. So that's your left shoulder, head, right shoulder. And quick calculation, if this thing starts to break, I would think you'll end up about down here, whatever price we're at now, right around here should basically be where that will go to. After all my years of looking at Head and Shoulders, I can calculate them with my eyes closed. You should end up somewhere around 14 to 13, based on what we're seeing here. Now, of course, anything could happen. Gold could have a major run up and the dollar could get slammed, and that could look better. But that is what I see at this point. I wouldn't change that piece of analysis unless it changed itself.
Perfect. Let's see. A couple of people asking for GDX.
Low. Do you really want me to put a GAN Fed on the pivot low? How about that? You really want me to do that? I thought I silenced this bad boy a long time ago. Nah, you know what? How about we don't? How about we let GAN rest? Let him rest in his grave. I used to be a big GAN fan. I kid you not. I used to have a GAN wheel, and I could show you stuff in my museum upstairs, literally. You put it on the wall. It's about a 3x3 picture, and it's the pyramids. Literally, if you're looking at a pyramid, but they flatten it, and all the way around the pyramid steps and numbers, and it's a GAN tool. I've gone that deep into GAN. Let's just let him be. I don't think much of that stuff applies today.
Let's see.
Anything else?
Yeah, GDX is the next one.
GDX, it was staying in the same place, huh?
Yeah, this looks like Vanek Vectors Gold Miners ETF.
That's not. It must have a different symbol. What would it be? GDX what? Is there like a .O or something?
No, should be just the GDX.
Okay, we'll try it over here because this guy is on film.
Yeah, just GDX. There we go.
All right, so GDX. Let's take a look at it first. We'll define it so it looks nice. Do you need me?
Yeah.
What's up? Tell him to do his thing, but tell him to stay up front for a little while. I need about 10, 15 more minutes. That's the gardener, guys. It's the last thing we need. Could be chasing me away with a leaf blower.
Got to keep your backdrop looking good.
Wow. Well, it looks better than, certainly looks better than SSR. You know, here's what I would tell you, and I have to be honest. I wouldn't even analyze this chart. I don't like the bars. I don't like the way it jerks around. It just doesn't look like anything I would trade. So I have no opinion of it. I don't like that shape. Looks to me like it just jerks around a lot and doesn't have a lot of volume in it. It's not anything I would even analyze and try to come up with a trade on. Anything else?
Let's see here. We had FedEx, which is FDX.
Uh-huh.
Maybe something
That's
similar to
that should look good,
UPS
huh?
on that one.
I was expecting that to be a beauty.
Yeah.
Another very nice chart. Absolutely, positively nice. Nice looking chart here. And we'll make these a little larger so we can view it. Boom. All right, that's a wonderful looking chart, especially in the face of us having this downward segment in the last 5-7 days. So we don't need too much of it. We'll go from down here. I'm just going to drop a few trend lines on it just to get a good look at it. Wow, is that a nice looking? This is like what the NASDAQ did all through the summer right here, this whole piece. Remember that? But it's staying with it. Wonderful compared to the NASDAQ look. So this is just staying in really smart channels. Look. It's jumping from channel to channel too. Look at that. It just dropped right in the right spot, no less. You can pull it a little tighter, but it seems to be just staying inside of channels and then creating new ones. It jumped out, got to the high of what we thought was the major channel, came right back down and staying inside this channel. But I love the look of this chart right here. I think that this piece right here is bullish. This whole segment right here is bullish. Let me make it a different color. Let me make that green. And see this piece right here? I like this whole piece that we're looking at. I think it's going to send the market up higher. Now, it's not a formation I would call anything. You know what I mean? I have nothing to call this except for a nice look. I like what we're seeing here. And this is FedEx, right? Very nice.
It is. It is. Yeah, it's FedEx. And, you know, going back to that point you made earlier, it's tis almost the season.
Yep.
And FedEx has been known to move a few packages.
Now, I think that the chart is showing you that the fundamental is very strong for FedEx, because the chart doesn't look anything like the bearish charts that we looked at in the indices before, right? Not even close. So I think it's showing us that the fundamentals are strong for this season coming up. Technicals look strong. The fundamentals are strong. Like UPS, I think it's fantastic.
Okay.
I would recommend buying the dips in FedEx.
Let's do, how about two more?
Wait, he's got a 273 double top. Let's go look at it. So we're talking about this. Let's define that double top. And let's actually define these last three tops and go back and see how close they are to today's action. All right, so now if we go back, those are your three higher highs right there. You can see two. I'll pull it down so you can see the third one. Those are your three higher highs, Mitch. So, of course, you got to get through the three of them, but your highest high is way up at the top. That gives you plenty of room. You go to a 273, $53 move before you get there, right?
Ton of room.
Yeah, absolutely. Ton of room to get up there.
Let's do two more. Does that work for you?
Yeah, works for me.
Zoom, which is ZM.O. Those guys have been busy lately.
I think we'll keep that chart. And ZM, right?
Yes, sir. .O.
.O. Wow. That might as well be shipping packages, huh?
Yeah.
Well, anything Corona right now looks the same. You notice that? If it's Corona related, doing well, the charts all look the same.
It's almost like there's a 1,000 industries around the world that can only meet online right now or something like that.
And it looks to me like this looks as good as FedEx and as good as UPS. So it's certainly benefiting from COVID, right? Zoom. W.O. All right, so we know we're looking at Zoom. It's a daily. Well, that looks fantastic. Nice upward channels, abstract but simple. In fact, I think we'll change that. This channel's old now. Let's go with this one. I think I'm going to call that the new channel developing. And see what a parallel of that will look like when we get up there. At some point, we'll end up here, and we'll see what happens when we get there. So then, of course, you can get much steeper. With the direction that this is going in. And again, these channels, they define where the market should go to next. I don't really like this line. I don't know what to call that. But you do have something building off of this. So that looks to me, so there are people out there that believe in this thing called the megaphone. I'm not sure that I'm going to say it's a megaphone, but as you can see, that channel's widening as it moves up. And that's just what you'd like to see. It's giving it more room to move higher as it moves up. So I think Zoom looks really good here. I would be a buyer of dips in Zoom, no doubt. And, you know, you'd have to think fundamentally with that. Yes, there'll be some kind of vaccine or whatever for COVID, but will the whole world go back to going to work, or will many people stay with exactly what they've got set up now? I say yes, because companies are selling off buildings and getting out of leases and getting rid of offices where you'd have to go back to one day. What are you going to do when, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of this that's going to stay this way forever, unless something other than Zoom comes up.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. A lot of companies are realizing that you know, they can save a lot on their overhead. Just have people work from home.
Imagine the rent on a building and the upkeep on a building that you no longer need.
Yeah, exactly.
That could be the bottom line of your company if you could pull the building expense out of. That's what this
yeah. Profit margin goes up just a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Then you want to do another.
Last one is Moderna, which is mRNA.O.
mRNA.O, huh?
Yes.
All right. mRNA.O. That looks pretty good, too. Who's finding these good-looking stocks in this downward market? I'm loving it.
It's not me, I can assure you that.
Fantastic. Another good-looking stock. What's wrong with that? Just breaking out of a bull flag. All right, so let's label it. Moderna. It's MODERNA, right?
Yes, correct.
I know the stock. I just haven't. That symbol's different than the one I use, so you have to give it to me again. All right. And what's that symbol?
mRNA.O.
Thank you.
It's a pharma stock, I believe.
Pharma stock. Oh, yes, Moderna is a pharmaceutical. All right, so pull this down. A lot of sideways, but I like what I'm seeing right here. I'll show you. We'll just zoom in because we're day traders and we're looking for next week's action, right? I'll zoom in on it for you. I like this spot right here. I think this is an awkward pole to a bull flag. And I think we're breaking out of that bull flag as of today. In fact, let's just do this with a parallel channel. Create. Thank you very much. That, if you ask me, is your flag. Even though I'm drawing it a little bit ugly. It's a little better. Let me darken that in for you. And if you ask me, that looks pretty darn good. Looks like it's going to have a nice up day on Monday. So now you see the flag developing. This series of quick down bars, I'm going to call it the pole. And again, it does not have to be perfect. It just has to look like a quick run up and then a sideways consolidation. That's what a flag's made up of. So it doesn't have to ever be perfect. It just has to look that way to you. And this, if I just cover these lines, you can see that that's the pole. Make these flag lines a little bit bigger.
Yeah, what really looks appetizing on that one is that the hard bounce off of kind of what seems to be a little bit of a support line for this stock.
Yeah, we're going to draw that in a moment, but I certainly like this bull flag right here, and I think it's already starting to work. So we've got Moderna in a bull flag. Then, of course, we're going to go look at some support lines. We'll see what it will take to get back up into the support. All right, so this is where it broke. And then it started to build this. It started to build this thing. I'm going to pull it in a little closer to these bars. I like it better there. So it started to build that downward channel. I'm going to make this a little bit lighter so it's not in our way. It built that downward channel, broke out of the channel into a bull flag. Now this line becomes support. See this line right here? That was resistance. That's your new support line. And look what happened when you broke out of the flag. Let me make this a little bigger. You went right to that support line, jumped out of the flag for one day, went right to that support line, and then maintained your flag. And that, my friends, is a bullish look. So I like Moderna here. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think that'll make a day trade on Monday, a nice bullish day trade on Monday. Now, one last thing before we go. Let's just zip through some of these charts and see what happens now that we had today's daily bar in. Today's bar going into the transportation average. Back into the channel. We're nowhere near out of the flag, though, right? We're still inside of the flag. So we can't get happy yet, but at least we're back in the channel. We're still inside the flag, but we're in the channel. That gives us a little bit of hope. And let's go look at the others real fast. Industrial average, add today's bar. Once again, in the flag, under the 50, inside the red channel. So nothing crazy bullish there. It just had a day up today. And NASDAQ. Let's add in today's NASDAQ bar. Still inside the secondary flag, this blue flag, below the 50-bar moving average, underneath the red channel. So as I started this presentation, I said, even though we had a bullish day, we're not out of the woods yet, and we're not. But maybe we'll get another bullish day Monday, and that'll get us out of the woods. I don't know, but we're not out of the woods yet. We're still in the downward segment of the bull market. And I think we added in S&Ps, right? Yes, we did. So we already see what the S&P looked like, but I'll show it one more time. If I could spot it. It must be in here. With today's added bar, you actually got just a little teeny bit out of the channel. But of course, still below the 50-bar moving average. So we're not out of the woods, but it looks like we could have a decent Monday, and then we'll reassess from there and see what happens. So that's my weekend recap or weekly recap for this weekend moving forward. Want to thank Metastock as always for inviting me. Love working with you guys.
We love having you.
Well, thank you so much. It's the best software I've ever used, and absolutely the best technical support you'll ever find. So, you fans that are Omniacs that don't have Metastock, please get it. And you traders that already have Metastock, good job, because it's great software.
And those of you in our audience that don't have Omni, Oscar, why don't you show people how to get a hold of you other than livewithoscar.com or?
Okay, so you can go to my YouTube channel. Let me just type it. I have a YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/futures analysts. And as soon as that comes up, I will bring it to you. Here you will always find my latest video, and it's youtube.com/futures analysts. You'll always find my latest video and any video I've ever done in the past. We started these videos in 2006, and they're done exclusively for trading almost nightly. Some of them, they're fun. We get into some crazy stuff, but it's always about what the market should do the next day. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. If you can't find me on social network, you don't have a phone or a computer, because you can find me anywhere. But you're literally your best bet if you want to join me live in a trading room with me on camera like you see now. Livewithoscar.com is your spot. Remember to go there, register, and I will see you in my live trading room.
And it's at a good price.
Yeah, it's free. It's free. I don't charge you anything to show up. Listen, I need the company. I've spent my entire life, my adult life, in a trading pit with hundreds of people around me, and we make jokes and we have fun, but we live our lives while we trade. Then they handed us all a computer in 2006 and 2007 and said, go home. Well, I still need that crowd around me, so that's what the trading room is. So come hang out with me every day, and we'll get through these rough and tumble markets together.
Wonderful. Oscar, thank you so much. It's a pleasure as always. It's been great having you, and thanks for analyzing the market with us this week, because it was an interesting one.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to next week. Anything you guys need, please look me up, and don't forget, join me at livewithoscar.com.
Now, everyone in the YouTube audience, go to livewithoscar.com. We'll go ahead and put the link in there. You see it on screen, but we'll also put the link in the live chat as well. Thanks for joining us. I hope you had a good week, and I hope that you guys are a little bit more prepared for this upcoming week. Stay safe out there. Let us know if you have any questions. Metastock.com/sales chat. Greg is waving goodbye right now as well. Stay safe over the weekend. And as always, guys, happy trading.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye-bye.
All right.